Sagittarius, your mother moved heaven and earth to bring this message to you. Have you ever felt as if something sacred was drawing near, not loud, not obvious, but something that made your heart gently tremble? A feeling hard to describe, like an invisible door slowly opening, and your whole body subtly responding. Like a soft wind brushing past you, and you just knew, in a deeply instinctive way, that you needed to listen. If you're here, in this very moment, it's not by chance. This is a meeting that the universe arranged a long time ago. Someone, a soul, has moved everything in heaven so you could receive this message. And that someone is your mother. Your mother, though no longer present in this world, has never truly left. Her love has never been lost. On the contrary, it continues to quietly guide you, protect you, whisper to you through dreams, through signs, through the faintest stirrings in your heart. She did everything so that you could be here today. And what you're about to hear is not just a video. It's a sacred message. A note from a place where love never dies. Because there is no love more enduring than a mother's love, it transcends time, space, and even death. If you're a Sagittarius, or if part of your soul carries the spirit of Sagittarius, always looking forward, always searching for truth, always feeling like you were born to go farther, to live deeper, then this message is for you. In the next few minutes, I will walk with you into a journey not meant for everyone, a journey of awakening. And if something about this feels meaningful, if your heart stirs as you hear these words, gently leave a comment below. I am ready to receive divine will. Because a declaration like that isn't just something you send out, it is the way you connect with an energy waiting to be awakened inside of you. And if you believe this sacred message shouldn't be kept only to yourself, like the video, share it, so this light may reach others who are also longing to be illuminated. Because sometimes, all it takes is one gentle reminder to save someone from a darkness they didn't even realize they were lost in. There are souls born to go far. Not to escape, but to discover. Not because they don't belong, but because they've always felt like they belong to more than just one place. Sagittarius is one of those souls. No one can truly hold them down. Not because they're careless, but because inside them, there is always a deeper, farther calling that whispers whenever life gets too quiet. Some say Sagittarius are endless dreamers. But no, they are seekers of light. Not just the outer light, but an inner light, something no one else can give them but themselves. Have you ever felt that way? As if something greater was waiting for you? A truth. A deeper reason for living. A meaning that suddenly made every past pain feel worth it? I believe some people carry a special kind of light. And sometimes, that light makes them feel out of place in a world too loud, too shallow. Sagittarius are often those people. You may not always be stable, not always easy to understand, but you are always honest, always living with a fire inside. And that fire is the most precious gift you offer this world. I once met a Sagittarius man, quiet, yet his eyes always carried dreams. He lived his whole life outside the mold. Not too wealthy, not too famous. But everyone who ever met him said, I feel like I can be myself when I'm around him. Maybe you don't see anything special in yourself. But the people you touch, they feel it. They feel peace. They feel hope. They feel awakened. Because you dare to live truthfully, even when that truth gets misunderstood. This world is not lacking in talented people. But it always needs more people who live authentically. And Sagittarius, you are that kind of person. Within you is a combination of faith and instinct, of intellect and heart. You don't accept living just to survive. You need to fly. You need to believe in something more sacred than logic. And that is what makes you different. But sometimes, that very longing to live truthfully makes you the one who gets hurt the most. Because you love with your whole heart. You trust with your entire soul. And when betrayed, that pain isn't just in the heart, it's a wound to your entire belief system. Have you ever wondered if maybe you should change? Should become more realistic? Should stop dreaming, stop feeling so deeply, stop trusting so easily? If you've ever had that thought, let me tell you this, don't. Because the light you carry, that's what makes this world less cold. A society only truly progresses when it still has people who live for meaning. Not just for achievement. When it still has people who believe in soul journeys, not just physical paths. When it still has people who choose truth, even when it's lonely. And you are one of those people. The world needs you. Society needs Sagittarius to remind people of what is real, what is kind, what is sacred. Do you know what's strange? People like you often live quietly. But they're the ones others remember forever. Because they don't come to impress. They come to touch souls. And you've done that more times than you realize. So if today you feel lost, if you find yourself without direction, maybe it's not a sign that you're on the wrong path. Maybe it's a sign that a profound shift is happening. Because the souls chosen to lead the way are often the ones who must walk through darkness first. Not to stay there, but to learn how to become light. You can leave a message below, just one line, from your heart. It could be, I'm still learning how to trust. Or, I'm not perfect, but I'm on my way to becoming who I truly am. Words like that, however small, are how you signal to the universe that you are ready to be supported, healed, and guided. And if you feel this message has meaning, share it with someone you believe needs to hear it too. Sometimes, just one voice is enough to awaken something within someone who had forgotten their way out of the dark. And in the next part, I will tell you why your mother, from the other side of this reality, chose this very moment to send you a message. Because your soul is beginning to awaken. There are presences we cannot see with our eyes. But we still feel them, with intuition, with instinct, with a vague longing no one can explain. It's when you suddenly pause on a completely ordinary day. Because you hear a familiar melody. Because you smell a scent from long ago. Or because your heart tightens for no clear reason. If you've ever had moments like that, maybe your mother has been closer than you think. Not all connections disappear with death. For some souls, especially mothers, the love they have for their children doesn't end when they leave this world. It simply changes form, from words to silent guidance. From embraces to a breeze that brushes your hair. From advice to a whisper in your intuition. And some people, like you, have been chosen to hear it. I believe that Sagittarius souls carry a special sensitivity to invisible energies. You may not be able to name it, but you feel it. You feel the wordless sorrow, the longing without a place to land, the love that asks for nothing. And that's why your mother, from the higher realms, chose you to receive this message. Because you are someone who can receive it. Because you are someone with a heart open enough to understand, not just with your mind, but with your soul. Maybe there were times you thought you were walking alone. That no one truly understood you. That even in your hardest moments, you could only rely on yourself. But your mother never left. She's been there, quiet, steady, compassionate, like a gentle light shielding you from what you could not yet see. She moved through all levels of energy to get this message to you, at the exact moment your soul began to feel ready for a new chapter. That sacred love, it's not attachment. And it's not grief. It is a higher kind of love, a deeper kind of love, a love no longer confined by body or words. It's a love that waits. A love that opens paths in silence. A love that places you into the hands of destiny, but always stands behind you. Like the wind that lifts you when you fall. And when you collapse, it is that love that gets you up. Even when you don't know how. I once met a woman, middle-aged, tired eyes from years of raising children, caring for her mother, carrying things no one saw. When I asked her if she believed in guardian angels, she paused and said, "I'm not sure, but every time I'm about to give up, I hear my mother calling my name in the wind." I believe her. Because I know, some things exist beyond all logic. And some mothers, even after they've gone, still find ways to return. Maybe you, listening to these words right now, have also had a moment like that. A recurring dream. An uneasy feeling just before making the wrong decision. A narrow escape. A silent whisper that made you change course. That's not random. Your mother is intervening. Not to control you, but to protect your soul from things she's already lived through. That's love beyond time. And the miracle is, you're beginning to listen to it. You may no longer remember your mother's voice. But your body remembers. Your soul has never forgotten. And today, this message is not meant to make you cry. It is here to lift you. To help you understand. You don't have to be strong alone. You don't have to fight through everything. You just have to allow yourself to touch that sacred love, so it can begin to heal you from within. Write one line below, just one. From the heart. Maybe, "Mother, I hear you." Or, "I'm ready to move forward." Because words like that, when spoken, aren't just words. They are a door. A summoning of light. A signal to the higher realms that you are ready for something better. And in the next part, I will tell you what's been happening quietly around you, truths being hidden. Relationships no longer serving your light. And why, your mother, with all her love and light, is clearing the path so that you can step into an entirely new chapter of your spiritual journey. There are truths that don't always reveal themselves in the light. There are masks, worn so skillfully, for so long, that you begin to believe they are real faces. But light cannot be deceived forever. Especially when your soul has begun to awaken. And when that happens, the universe will do everything it can to pull the curtain back, gently if it can. Forcefully if it must. Have you noticed? Lately, some people around you suddenly feel distant. Relationships you once thought were solid, begin to crack without warning. Stories you used to believe as truth, now sound like poorly written plays. And you begin to wonder, was it me? Did I do something wrong? But the truth is, you didn't. You're simply stepping into a new level of light, where things that no longer resonate, fall away on their own. I want you to understand this, not with your mind, but with your soul. When you raise your frequency, what no longer aligns will not be able to stay. Not because you reject them, but because your soul can no longer tolerate the false. And your mother, from the higher realms, is helping accelerate this process. Because she knows, the path you're about to walk, requires you to be purified. You must walk light. Walk bright. Walk real. There are 3 kinds of people you may be starting to see clearly now. The first is someone who once called you a friend, but poisoned you behind your back. They don't truly hate you. They just can't stand the light you carry, because it shines on the shadows they want to keep hidden. The second is someone who imitates you. They don't harm you directly, but they quietly feed off your energy, copying you, pretending to resonate with you, and leaving once you're no longer their source of inspiration. The third is family. Someone very close. Someone who knows your most vulnerable places, and may have used them to control, shape, or hurt you, without ever admitting it. I'm not saying this to make you angry. I'm saying this so you understand. Truth, even when it hurts, is the beginning of freedom. Your mother doesn't want you living in illusion anymore. She's stripping away every false layer around you, so the light within you can live fully, clearly, and truthfully. I believe every Sagittarius carries something deeply pure. A part of them always believes in beauty, in truth, in ideals greater than the ordinary. And because of that, when betrayed, the pain is not just loss, but a shaking of faith in human nature itself. But you know what? Every exposure is also a gift. Every mask that falls is the universe saying, it's time to live truthfully. You don't have to stay quiet anymore. You don't have to keep trying to explain yourself to people who don't want to understand. You don't have to prove your worth in rooms your soul no longer belongs in. You just need to walk away, calmly, toward the light that's calling your name. If this part touches you, if you see someone quietly exiting your life, or if you feel a relationship slipping away, one you thought was irreplaceable, leave a comment. I am ready for truth to heal me. Because when you dare to write that down, you stop running. You begin walking into the land of healing, where you get to be yourself. Not a version of someone else's expectation. And in the next part, I will take you to a miraculous moment. When someone who once left, because of misunderstanding, is on their way back. But this time, not to start again, but to close the circle. A soul, once lost, is now finding their way back to you. And you will be the one to decide. Is their return an opportunity, or the final lesson? There are moments when you think you've lost everything. Lost someone. Lost a chance. Lost all faith. You whisper to yourself, maybe this is the end. But strangely, it is in those very moments, when nothing seems left, that something gentle begins to stir. And that is what's coming for you now. You may not see it, but you are being prepared for a reunion, not to start over, but to close the circle. A soul who once left, who turned away because of misunderstanding, pain, or fear, is on their way back. It might be someone very close. Someone whose name still softens your heart, or once broke it. They walked away, or maybe you did. But the story was never truly finished. And the universe, in its quiet tenderness, is orchestrating one more meeting. Not to restart a blind love, but to allow you to see yourself through the eyes of maturity, compassion, and light. I believe we all have soul reunions. Not everyone who returns is meant to stay. But every return is a mirror. A chance to see how far you've come, how much you've grown, what you've learned from wounds you thought you'd never overcome. I remember an afternoon, years ago. I saw again someone who once deeply hurt me. We had no words left to say, but our eyes held truths that had never been spoken. I felt no anger, no blame, no need to be understood. Just a deep lightness inside me. As if what I needed wasn't an apology, but that very moment of realizing, I'm no longer who I was. And I knew then, that was freedom. Not loud. Not needing to be spoken. But enough to bring tears, because you finally see that healing has truly begun. Maybe you're about to step into that moment. Maybe the one who walked away is about to stand in front of you, this time with different eyes. A different soul. And you will get to decide. Is this the return you've been waiting for? Or the final invitation to let go with peace? The question isn't, has that person changed? The real question is, do you still need them to feel whole? Because once you've learned to truly love yourself, you no longer keep someone out of fear of losing them. You only keep them if they truly ignite the light within you, not dim it. If someone has come to mind while you're listening, someone who once hurt you, or someone you had to walk away from, write this in the comments. I am ready to receive their return, or their closure, with gratitude. Because when you're ready to love without possession, to forgive without forgetting, to walk away without feeling like you've lost, then you are truly free. And you know what? Not everyone is brave enough to get to this stage. But you are. Because you are Sagittarius. And a true Sagittarius never lives halfway. When you love completely. When you let go, you do it with peace. And when you return, you come back as yourself, more radiant, more profound, and without asking anyone's permission to shine. Your mother knows this. And she, from the most sacred place, has prepared a corridor of light for your soul to walk forward, unburdened by what no longer belongs to you. And in the next part, I'll take you to a new space, where the things that once felt impossible begin to feel possible. Because when your heart has healed, when your soul returns to truth, then the universe begins to move in your favor. The doors that once stayed shut will begin to open. And the things you only dared to dream will begin to find their way to you. There is a very special moment in the healing journey when you begin to see the world with new eyes. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. The things that once made you cry now fill you with gratitude. The doors that once remained closed, you no longer wait in front of them. You quietly walk towards something else. And then, miracles begin to happen. Not loud. Not dramatic. But so deep, you know without a doubt, this is the reward for all that you've endured. I once believed miracles were big things. A sudden opportunity, a remarkable success, a dramatic transformation. But in the end, I realized, the true miracle is when you feel you deserve peace. When you can sit still, breathe deeply, and no longer feel the need to chase anything just to feel worthy. And that's when good things start to come. Not because you pursue them, but because you've become someone who can keep them. You might start noticing little signs. An invitation from a place you didn't expect. A message arriving just when you needed something uplifting. A door opening, not through effort, but through a coincidence so beautiful it feels divine. These things don't happen by luck. They are the universe's response to the brave journey you didn't give up on. Because you know what? It's not easy to keep your kindness, your sensitivity, and your faith after your heart has been broken. But you did. And because of that, you deserve a life where you don't have to brace yourself all the time, but can be received with gentleness. If you've started to see signs like these in your life, or even if you just feel something beginning to shift, leave a comment below. I am ready for the good things I deserve. Because the moment you say that out loud, you open the energetic door for the miracle to walk in. And the most beautiful part is, what's coming to you is not compensation. It's part of the divine plan that was written for your soul a long time ago. You simply weren't ready to receive it back then. But now, you are different. I see it in you. A light that no longer needs to be validated. Because it's radiating from within. A stillness that no longer comes from avoidance, but from the deep knowing. What is truly yours never needs to be chased. And that is the most beautiful gift a person can offer this world. A true presence, no longer ruled by fear. The world doesn't need more people rushing. The world needs hearts quiet enough to love with understanding, mature enough to live with purpose, and strong enough not to betray themselves. In the next part, I'll tell you why your mother, from the other side, has guided you through every dark turn. Not just so you could receive the miracle for yourself, but so that you could become a light for others. Because when a Sagittarius awakens, it's not just one life that transforms, but the entire energy vortex around them begins to shift. Sometimes you don't have to do something grand to change the world. You just have to choose to live truthfully. And the light from that truth will quietly ripple out, little by little. That's what your mother has always quietly hoped for in you. That one day, you would pause, look within, and realize you were always the light. It was just covered by expectations, wounds, and fear. I used to think that to inspire someone, I had to become extraordinary. But now I know, sometimes, simply not giving up on yourself is already enough to inspire. You light a flame for someone who's lost in the dark. No words needed. No spotlight. Just your honest presence. You may not know this, but somewhere, someone has been touched by the way you live. Maybe they never said it, but they saw you keep going, even when tired. They saw you choose love, even after being hurt. They saw you offer kindness, even when you hadn't received it. And because of that, they learned not to give up, because of you. Perhaps the greatest lesson of this journey is this: live truthfully. Not just to be free, but so others may feel free to live truthfully too. This world needs people like that. Not perfect. Not heroic. But brave. Brave enough not to hide the pain. Brave enough not to turn away from truth. Brave enough to keep their hearts open, even after they've closed once. If you feel this message is waking something in you, leave a comment. I am ready to become the light I once looked up to, and now I choose myself to shine it. Because when you step into your truest self, you become a lighthouse for drifting souls. You don't need to save the world, but you might save someone by not losing yourself. And in the final part, I will take you back to where it all began. A sacred moment. When your mother whispered something to your soul from the other side. A promise. A guiding voice. A flame she handed to you. To hold. To live. To reignite in those who have forgotten they once burned brightly too. Now, if you're still here, listening to every word, every breath of this journey, then perhaps your soul already knows. This is no ordinary message. This is a wake-up call. A door has opened. And you, with all your brokenness, your detours, your silent endurance, are now standing at the crossroads between your past and a new destiny. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what wounds you carry. But I do know this. No pain you've experienced was meaningless. No loss was random. And no calling from the universe ever comes, unless it was always meant for you. You've gone far enough now to start coming home. Home to your heart. Home to a soul that hasn't been touched with gentleness in too long. Home to the light within you that has been waiting, so patiently, to be fully alive. I believe one of the greatest truths your mother, who has loved you beyond space and death, wants you to understand is this. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love. You don't have to be enough, strong enough, successful enough to stay in someone's life. You only need to be you. The real you, no pretending, no polishing, no suffering just to be accepted. Because what's real won't leave when you become honest. And those who truly love you won't ask you to hide your wounds just to keep things comfortable. Your mother has always seen you, both your light and your shadows. She didn't love you because you were perfect. She loved you because you were you. And now, she wants you to learn to love yourself in the same way. I once thought I had to be stronger, more polished, more in control, to step into the sacred. But after breaking down many times, I realized it is the cracks where the light gets in. And because I've been hurt, and lost, and wrong, that's how I know what's truly right. Not by standards, but by soul. You don't need to fix yourself anymore. You only need to live honestly. No one else on this planet can live the life you're here to live. No one else has your eyes, your heart, your way of seeing the world. And that is the miracle. You don't need to become anyone else. Because the world needs exactly you. If these words touched your heart, leave a comment. I am ready to live in the light that is truly mine. That's not just a sentence. It's a declaration. A message sent to the long-forgotten parts of your soul. And if you believe this message carries meaning, share it with someone you believe needs to remember they are worthy too. Because we never truly know how a single word, a voice, a story might save someone in a moment when they thought they were lost forever. And before I close, let me say one last thing. You didn't come here just to survive. You came here to shine. Not loudly, but deeply, quietly, unshakably, brilliantly. Your mother knew that. I know that. And now, you're starting to feel it stirring inside you too. And that is the real awakening.